This is going to be a kind of smorgasbord of conversations here, because today we're talking about Montreal Canadiens players. We're talking about Canadiens prospects. We're talking about their cousins. And we're also talking about where these guys can go next. Let's talk today about Habs prospect LJ Mooney, a guy who was taking the NHL Draft world by storm back in 2025 because he was a fourth-round guy that was a point-per-game NTDP player. Now, we've seen highly productive NTDP players go later in drafts in the past, but what made LJ Mooney so unique is the fact that this guy's only 5'8", 165. In order for guys this small to be drafted higher up towards the top of their NHL drafts, they literally have to break the NTDP's goal record, which is what Cole Caulfield did back in 2019, in order for him to get drafted 15th overall. LJ Mooney, coincidentally, is a Canadiens prospect, and he's a guy that we had made a bunch of videos about over the past few months because his production with the NTDP was awesome, his early showcase in Canadiens camp was awesome, and then he had a freshman season with the Minnesota Golden Gophers that saw him put up 30 points in 34 total games. He added on 3 assists at 5 World Junior Games at the ripe old age of 18. So LJ Mooney definitely is a prospect worth keeping your eye on. And before we dive into the extracurriculars of it all, there is a conversation to have about Logan Cooley. There is a conversation to have about Ivan Demidov. Let's just briefly go over where LJ has improved and what he's looking at as a prospect right now. US NTDP head coach Nick Four said about LJ Mooney, he is such a shifty little player, and he works extremely hard, and he is dialed in to doing the right things over and over and over again. His elusiveness and his ability to change direction is elite. Meanwhile, you have the 2026 April Dauber scouting report on LJ Mooney, written and published by... Who was this written and published by? Well, it doesn't have a name on the 2026 report. Let's just assume Iofi Sweeney. Mooney delivered an excellent freshman year with the Minnesota Golden Gophers, posting 7 goals and 23 assists for 30 points. He drove offense consistently, tying for the team lead with 9 multi-point outings and producing 18 points in 18 games against top 10 opponents. A clear indicator of big game potential from a player who always seemed to rise to the occasion. A 7-game point streak in January showcased his ability to take over stretches of play, and he earned immediate trust from coaches at both ends of the ice. His skill level is the defining feature of his projection. Mooney's hands and feet are extremely quick, allowing him to make plays at top speed and beat defenders with ease. He trains with Logan Cooley and reportedly grades out even better in some skill areas at the same age. Though 5'7", his size remains his biggest variable in his NHL outlook. There is optimism that he could grow closer to 5'10" like his father, but even if he doesn't, his upside is significant. It was Ryan Downey who wrote this. Okay, so great. LJ Mooney trains with Logan Cooley, which is a great sign. That's not the only thing we're going to dive into, though. Take a look at this. Mooney's ceiling resembles players like Johnny Gaudreau, if he can refine the mental side, while a more median outcome might look like Nick Robertson. His floor remains low due to his size and durability concerns, but after a strong first year, he is one of the Montreal Canadiens' most intriguing long-term swings. So, not only is he being compared to Nick Robertson, who, by the way, hasn't really had the best NHL career, Mooney is being compared to Johnny Gaudreau, literally one of the best players on the planet when he was with the Calgary Flames. Now, speaking about Logan Cooley, there is a really cool connection to make over here because Logan Cooley, not only does he train with LJ Mooney, but he happens to be Mooney's cousin. And I just find it semantically interesting how you have 2 guys that happen to be cousins who both happen to be smaller NHL players who play similarly. Logan Cooley, LJ Mooney. These guys have pretty similar names too when you break it down like that. But there was a video Earlier this August of the Habs ice in Brassard, you had Ivan Demidov skating with Utah's Logan Cooley over there. And a lot of folks were going out there and asking, like, hey, wait a minute, what's Cooley doing in Montreal? Top reply says maybe Logan Cooley's cousin LJ Mooney told him to visit. Oh, I forgot about that somehow. Duh. Jesse Wild said there's also a tie to Kent Hughes. I believe his son played with Cooley when they were younger. Now, I'm not necessarily going to sit here and pretend like Logan Cooley hanging out and practicing with his cousin LJ Mooney, hanging out and practicing with Ivan Demidov, and also being a part of the same NTDP team which housed Jack Hughes. No, not the New Jersey Devils center, the franchise-defining guy Jack Hughes. I'm talking about Jack Hughes, Kent Hughes' son, which I can't seem to find right now on Elite Prospects. Let's just do the old Control F. Oh, is he on this page? No, he is not. Okay. The other Jack Hughes is indeed over here. Nope, that's the wrong Jack Hughes. Hey, too many Jack Hugheses. Either way, Logan Cooley is a guy that does have that connection to the Habs organization in multiple ways. And while I'm not insinuating that he could be a Hab one day, just knowing that he's a guy that was able to produce 65 points in 75 games in the Utah Hockey Club season, was an over point per game guy for Team USA at the Worlds in 2025, and who is a guy who's doing all this at 21 years old, Logan Cooley obviously provides the greatest example for what LJ Mooney could inevitably become. It's either Logan Cooley or Johnny Gaudreau, if you wanted to go out there and label that. Now, for what it's worth, Cooley did have a little bit of a downer year by comparison, 43 points in 54 games, but then again, he did miss so much time throughout the year. He also was at half a point a game for Utah as they played off against Vegas in the opening round. He had 3 points in 3 games in games 1, 2, and 3. Before inevitably losing the next 3, 2 of them being in overtime and then one of them being a total dominating force by Vegas in regulation. But Logan Cooley represents the best of the LJ Mooney bloodline as it pertains to modern NHL day success. Mooney is looking really good out of his NTDP and NCAA transition. We'll see what he is able to do heading into this upcoming year, and the fact that they're all going out there and training with Ivan Demidov makes it even more sweeter. Awesome news for the Canadiens with Mooney's development. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about Cooley hanging out and trading with these guys? Does that mean something? Is it an inevitability that we see Logan Cooley in Montreal colors one day? You gotta remember there is an interesting link to the Montreal story because that 2022 draft when Cooley was taken 3rd, he was another one of the guys that went over Shane Wright at the top of the 2022 selection. So Slavkovsky, Nemec, Cooley, then Shane Wright. It's kind of funny because Nemec was rumored to be going to Montreal and some trade rumors for right-handed defensemen. Logan Cooley, obviously, we've been talking about him this video, and then Shane Wright. There were rumors about him potentially being a Canadiens guy too. What if Montreal inevitably had all 4 of these guys? That'd be very weird. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section about Logan Cooley and his success so far. Thoughts in the comment section about LJ Mooney too. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.